Good evening, America, and good afternoon, Australia, and welcome to everyone listening across the world. You're tuning in to the Everyday Business Show with Toni Lontis. Today we have an amazing guest, but before I introduce you to the dynamic Tyler Ornstein, just a quick reminder, if you're listening live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, don't forget that Payo is listening, waiting and ready to respond to your questions, answer your questions, and send you any links that you might need about the information that we talk about on this show. Furthermore, if you jump onto tonilontis.com, you will find more in-depth information about our guests each week, including the links to any offers that we have on the show. A wonderful reminder too that all the replays of the shows are available on Binge Networks TV USA, Hero Go TV USA, and the Toni TV channel app, available on all Roku, Samsung, and LG smart TVs across the planet. Now, this fabulous guest we have today is Tyler Ornstein from Tyler's Coffee. Now, Tyler loved the taste and smell of coffee since his first sip at 5 years of age. However, his poor old dad thought otherwise, as it upset his stomach. So one day Tyler asked if he could make a coffee that both of them could drink, and it was a pivotal moment in both of their lives. His father started pondering this issue. In 2006, at 16 years of age, Tyler's father asked him a simple question. What is the second largest commodity item in the world? Tyler had no idea, but after a little bit of research, he found out that the first was oil, of course, the second was coffee. And Tyler's Coffee was born. Firstly, out of necessity. Tyler's dad was told by a physician that he could no longer drink coffee due to its acidity. And realizing that drinking coffee was more of a lifestyle choice than just a beverage, his dad, a biochemist, went on to design a proprietary computerized Z roasting system that figured out how to roast the bean perfectly without letting the tannic or lipid acids form. And these are the acids that wreak havoc on those with gastrointestinal problems such as indigestion, bloating, and heartburn, and also have an impact on the tooth enamel. He then presented Tyler with an idea, and that idea has grown into Tyler's Coffee, the world's first and only acid-free coffee. Tyler agreed to sell it with a natural entrepreneurial spirit, setting off on door-to-door sales on his bicycle. And he continued selling coffee, to his friends and families and neighbours, and from there it's grown into a multinational company with a full warehouse and has had 80% growth year over year, with 2 million cups sold and a distribution of 1,000 independent grocery stores. I'm absolutely delighted to have Tyler with us here today, and I'd like to start the show by one of Tyler's quotes, which is, "Entrepreneurism is like jumping off the highest cliff and assembling an airplane on the way down." And Tyler, welcome to the show. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know how busy you are. We've had some lovely chats, but I'm delighted to introduce you to the audience today and tell us all about Tyler's Coffee. How are you?
First, I have to say, wow, what an intro. That's probably one of the greatest intros I've ever gotten. And I've done this for
Oh, Tyler.
So I can't thank you enough for the intro, and I didn't even know that much about me.
I've been checking out your growth.
You, Toni. Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. There's something magical about talking to young entrepreneurs. I'm like an old entrepreneur. I've been in traditional business. Entrepreneurial business is a little different. It takes a different mindset. And I thought that spark... Beg your pardon?
We're a little bit crazy.
You reckon that's what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good crazy, isn't it, Tyler?
It is good crazy. I mean, we like to live on the edge of failure and success on a regular basis, and we get comfortable with that. And you know what's really interesting is I think not only young entrepreneurs or old entrepreneurs or successful entrepreneurs or semi-successful entrepreneurs, you know, you look at Elon Musk, look at Jeff Bezos, look at
Yes.
you know, Steve Jobs, look at Bill Gates, look at, you know, all of these moguls, look at Warren Buffett. They all started with
Mm-hmm.
this crazy nut job idea, and people were like, "You'll never succeed. It'll never do anything. You're wasting your time, your money, your investors' money." And look at them now. They're all having the last laugh at the bank at billion dollar net worth, multi-billion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tyler, I when I was looking and researching your story, in particular, I was fascinated about the mindset of a 16-year-old when presented with that opportunity, takes it and runs with it. Do you remember what was going through your head at that time?
Well, I think what's really going through my head is I wanted to produce a product that was blue water territory, and I was really excited when we figured it out. And I can't take credit for that.
Yeah.
My father definitely has to take credit for that because he's the inventor of the product. And also working with an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, they built this Z. I love how you call it Z. We call it Z
Yes.
in the US, but I like Z. I think
Oh,
Z.
yes, of course.
Anyway, we built this model. We built this idea, and this idea was meant to actually help people. And I'll never forget
Mm.
a little background of how Tyler's Coffees became Tyler's Coffees. So I got on a backpack. Sorry, I got on a bike with a backpack, and
Yeah.
I went door to door, and I just gave out these silver packs. And when I gave out these silver packs, I only asked for a name and a number, and I just wanted to see what, you know, people thought about it. It was essentially a test market, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Yes,
so
yes.
and when I figured out that not only was the idea feasible, I'll never forget this really sweet lady. I called her and I said, "Hey, this is Tyler. What did you think of the coffee I gave you as a sample?" And she said, "You know what? It
Yeah.
didn't fit my stomach, and it actually felt really good, and I liked it a lot, and I'd like to order some." And it was like a
Oh,
light moment
wow.
because that's exactly what we were trying to do. We were trying to produce a product that people could drink coffee that have any kind of stomach related issues. My father
Yeah.
obviously was patient zero. And so she goes, "Where do I get it?" And I was like, "Well, you can get it from me." She's like, "Okay, well, how much is it?" And I was like, $1. You know, I didn't know really how to run a business. But she said the next thing, she goes, "What's it called?" And I said, "I don't have a name for it." She goes, "Well, what's your name?" I'm like, "Tyler." She's like, "I like that. Tyler's Coffee."
Oh, wow. So
So
simple.
yeah. So
So you
that's how
started
it
you started really humble. So on your bike with your backpack, getting people to test out the coffee and people starting to really like it because it has no acidity, and they can, if they've got any sort of gastrointestinal issues like reflux and indigestion,
right.
etc., they can drink it just fine. So they still get that great coffee taste without the bad things that happen with drinking too much coffee. So, Tyler, just out of curiosity, how long did it take Dad to invent the roasting system that produced the coffee? Was that kind of a long process or?
I would say from conception to, you know, theory. Well, I guess from theory to conception to test market to build out was about 3 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so obviously you started with a smaller prototype of the roaster. When did you realize that you were on something that was really valuable to people and you started to grow? How long did that take? So you started at 16.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what we did is, I started at actually 14, and
Yeah.
20 2004, right? So 14 years old. 2006, I was 16 years old. We were the first website to have a subscription model outside of Javalia. Javalia was the first, and Javalia is a multi-billion-dollar Swiss company.
Yes.
Conglomerate. But
Yes.
we were the second subscription model on the website, or sorry, on the web for coffee.
Mm.
And the reason
Yeah.
why I know that is I actually hired dev team to build out the whole entire back end of how we can take our credit card on a monthly basis. So I built that all out with a dev team, very expensive.
Yes. Yes. I was just going to say, I wanted to
So
ask you about the financial process for you at 16. Obviously, you had dad's help and the initial start of sales. How difficult was it to find the funding? Can you talk us through that?
we didn't find the funding. It was all
Yeah.
self-funded.
Yeah.
The whole thing was self-funded.
Yes.
So we don't have investors. I'm 100% owner of Tyler's Coffees. We do have other companies that I'm involved in that have partners in equity, and I sit on the board and so on and so forth. But Tyler's Coffees is 100% owned by me, Tyler Ornstein, and that will stay
Fantastic.
that will stay forever. I don't have any intention
Yeah.
of selling equity of Tyler's Coffees. I don't need to. I'm
No.
very comfortable with what I'm doing, and what, if someone gave me an evaluation of $1 billion, that's
That's
great.
cool.
I don't even know if I would sell at that. And the reason why, and I'll tell you the reason why. Whenever you start
Yeah.
selling, you're breaking up your pieces that you've built. And I just am so connected in this company that
Yes.
it's part of me.
It's
It's part of me.
family. Yeah.
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 And so long story short, that's yeah. So the point is I started at 16 years old online, and then so 2008 is when people started looking at their health and food at the same time. Before
Yeah.
that, I would call stores and I would call grocery stores and I was like, "Hey, I have this acid-free coffee." Acid what? Never heard of it. No, not interested.
Oh.
Everyone wanted Starbucks. Everyone wanted Starbucks. Everyone wanted Starbucks. And I even saw this coming. I was like, it's going to be really interesting in about 10 years when everyone says,
Yes.
God, Starbucks is disgusting. I can't drink it. Look at you, you're drinking. Hopefully you're drinking Tyler's. We don't know.
I'm drinking Tyler's coffee. I have to confess to the audience, I've received my order from Tyler's Coffee, so it ships beautifully, quickly from America to Australia. No problems at all. So if you're in Australia and you want to access and taste Tyler's Coffee, you can get it. I tested it out.
And you're a fan.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we have an 80% retention rate on our customer base, which is insane. But I can see why, because I am my own worst critic. I'm the one that's saying, what is the worst case scenario? And that's what entrepreneurs live by, is what is the worst case scenario?
Yes.
So drinking my coffee every day, I'm if anything's gonna happen, I'm gonna feel it. You're
gonna be the first.
Yeah, I'll be the first.
Yeah.
So the point is that so anyway, we built the company and everyone was like, we're not interested, we're not interested, we're not interested, we're not interested, we're not interested. 2008-9, there was a shift and people started waking up and going, hey, I don't want high fructose corn syrup in my food. Hey, I don't want chemicals in my food. I don't want pesticides in my food. And then the organic world started to come to a fruition. And in about 2016 is when everything just exploded and
Oh, yay.
the whole entire grocery market went on its absolute head, and people
Mm.
were demanding organic food. And I saw this in 2016, and I knew that in 2000 and let's call it 18, 19, we were going to see organic
Uh-huh.
food in mainstream marketplaces like Walmart, like Target, like
Yeah.
Sam's Club,
Yep.
like Costco, and I knew that there's a demand for clean food because we live in a society
Definitely.
that it's unfortunate, but we live in a society where, especially in America, where you can
Mm.
buy food or you can buy clean food. I call it clean food because it's clean of
Yes.
all of the things.
Yeah.
And for people that can afford clean food, and again, I think humanitarianly, it's disgusting that we have to have this conversation. But in reality,
True. So
that's
true.
what it is. In reality, that's what it is. People that have more wealth or in a higher wealth bracket can eat clean food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so we wanted to be, you know what? I said price is not a decision in this factor. We want to be the cleanest, healthiest coffee in the marketplace. And as
Mm.
far as I know, we are.
Yes. Yes. Tyler, the where your beans for the coffee are grown and sourced, I'm guessing that it was a bit of a process to find the source of the beans so that your coffee is
Yes.
as wonderfully clean. Yeah.
So we're single sourced organic USDA certified. So what that means is that we only buy from one farm, and it's a big
Ah.
farm, but it's in Chiapas, Mexico.
Yes.
And the regulatory agency goes and does soil testing, and our coffee is audited like no one's business.
Yeah.
Once you stick
Yeah.
that label of USDA certified, it's a whole different ballgame. You're getting audited every quarter. It's
Mm.
but on the other hand, I like it because I know that if I go to the grocery store and
Yes.
the USDA symbol, I know that I'm getting perfect, good quality, clean food.
Mm.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what we did is we sourced it from a single source because we didn't want to create any like cross contamination or any
Yeah.
other beans that are different. And on top of that, we're actually triple A screened. So there's screens, and the best way to say it is it's A, B, and C. C coffee has
Yes.
wormholes in it. It has discoloration. It has different sizes. A is almost
Ah.
uniformly perfect. And if you look at a Tyler's Coffee's bag of whole bean, there's
Yes.
no there's no differentiation between one bean and the other. They're uniformly perfect.
Yeah. That's and so Tyler, I'm guessing that you visit the farm and keep an eye on production and all of that as well.
Unfortunately, political situations, you don't really want to go to Chiapas, Mexico. It's not a great place.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. So obviously you're able to manage it from the US, no problems at all.
Oh yeah, hey, money's money, right? They'll sell you
Yeah.
coffee. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So now you've got this amazing coffee, this international house of coffee, if you'd like to call it that way, Tyler's Coffee. And I'm wondering what Dad thinks about it all now.
Well, I think Dad's very, very happy for me. He's he's someone that you gotta have acquired taste with because he's too smart for his own good. He's an Einstein.
Mm.
He's an Einstein of this world. Um,
Yeah.
he he can create and develop and design and engineer and chemistry things that you blow your mind. And we could have probably
Amazing.
5 episodes on just what he's created. But and yeah, he's proud of him. Yeah, for sure, he's proud of him.
Good. Good, because obviously it's had a wonderful positive impact on not only your life but his life as well. Because a certain level of success brings with it a certain level of joy and achievement. And for someone as young and successful as you, I'm just wondering, in that journey, what's some of the best business advice that you've received so far?
That's a great question. I know this sounds like I'm, you know, doing a selfish plug here, but I did write a book, and
Yes.
it's on Amazon. And if you want, you can go to the website tylerscoffees.com and you can click on the link of the book, and you can go and get it on Kindle. We are going to go into hard copy,
Yes.
but it's going to go in next year. We're going to go into hard copy.
Yeah.
Um, the reason why I say that is because I've written a lot of stuff about how I learned how to run
Yes.
a business in that book. And it's a short read. It's only 85 pages.
Mm.
And that's what I wanted. I didn't want, War and
A
Peace.
big book.
I did not want a big book. I wanted people to read it
Yeah.
for the cover, because 85 pages you can read in about half a day if you really sit down
Correct.
and read. So it's really simple. I mean, long story short, go and get the book because there's a lot of value there. And I'm not just trying to sell you the book, because I'll tell you
No,
right now,
no. Fantastic.
I made the book cheap. I didn't want to spend, there's no value. To me, there's no value in selling my book for $20. Now, coffee, there's a value because we're buying the best quality, and we're
Good coffee.
individual bean, and it's a process, it's hard costs, and so on and so forth. But the book is my mind on paper, and I wanted it cheap, so it's $3. I think it's $2.99.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
nothing.
brilliant.
But the point is that the book really has a lot of value. Now, I will say this. You asked me the question, so I answer it. I think the most important thing that I have to give a young entrepreneur, an entrepreneur,
Yes.
is tenacity.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that with full regard of the word. You have to be so tenacious. You have to be so hungry. You have to be so driven. You have to be to the point where you're so blinded by what you want to create that you create it.
Yes. Yes.
There's nothing
where you can actually there's something about that bigger vision that sits in the front of your brain, and I'm sure that's what you had at 16, that this is what I want Tyler's Coffee to look like. And the more you focus on that vision, the more it comes to life. The more it attracts the people that you need to connect with, the more it attracts the people that you need to associate with. And it's just
the value of the tenacity is why I say this, to be super, super blunt. The amount of things that are going to come at you,
come in your way, yes.
That want to take you off your track, are going to be horrendously large.
Yeah. I was thinking about that as a 16-year-old, that there's even more coming at you from so many different directions. And it's such a wonderful conversation to have, that someone as young as you were had the tenacity and the vision to keep going, and look what you've achieved.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The best way I can say this is become very good friends with failure.
Yes.
I mean, learn that failure is going to happen, and you're going to have to learn from it. Now, here's the thing. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're bound to
keep having them.
You're bound to repeat them. But become really great friends with Murphy's Law. I mean, become really tight with Murphy. Tell Murphy every day, hey buddy, how you doing? Let's go do something together. Huh? Murphy's Law is so critical that you understand. I mean, I can't stress this enough. When you think a plan's going to go right, it's going to go the opposite.
Yeah.
So plan for it to go the opposite.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You've got to have like contingency on contingency. Hey, Tyler, what was one of the things that can you remember one of the things that went wrong in the early stages of growing Tyler's coffee? Do you remember any of those things that you can share with us that would
Yeah, sure.
be enough to,
We
yeah?
we were building our business. This is back when I was doing the fulfillment, and
Yeah.
our truck showed up, and the coffee was just in total disarray. And the boxes were shifted. We lost about a two-thirds of our load. It was just horrendous. And on top of that, I did not insure the shipment because I was like, oh, nothing's going to happen.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness.
At the time, we lost probably about $15,000. And that was a big hit.
Yeah.
At the time, that was a big hit.
Yeah. Wow. So what did you do?
We grabbed what we could get. We figured out how we were going to ship it. We ordered more, and essentially what we did is
off you go.
We told our customers, hey, we're really sorry, but our shipment showed up this way. We sent pictures. And here's the other thing: your customers are your family, so be honest with them.
Yes.
Don't ever lie to your customer. That's a great takeaway. Don't ever, as much as you think it's okay to be like, oh, we're just going to skirt the truth here. Don't ever lie to your customer. You lie to your customer, they'll never trust you. They don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you.
Yeah.
Trust buying is one and the same. And I learned that. I lied to my customer, and my customer told me to go pound sand, and I lost that customer. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Next time I'm not going to lie, regardless of what it takes.
Yeah.
They want to hear the truth. So be truthful to your customer. Be honest with your customer. Your customer cares about you. And I'll tell you why, because they're giving you money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a great idea to take photos of it and go, this is what happened to the order.
Yeah.
We're going to fix it, but it's just going to take us a little bit longer. Yeah. And I'm guessing that there was enough salvageable good coffee to get some of the order out, and then you were able to.
Right. And to this day at Tyler's Coffees, we do oldest to newest. That's just how I run. I run my warehouse that way. If you're the oldest, you go out first. If you're the newest, well, you're going to be the oldest at one point.
No, they're just going to keep buying Tyler's coffee forever and a day. Tyler, I'd like to know what inspires you.
Obviously the almighty dollar has a lot of inspiration to me. I like to buy things. Yeah. I like to enjoy my life. I have a very nice house. I have a very nice lifestyle because I built it. I designed it and I built it. I think another inspirational thing is I like the word help. And I used to travel and I spoke on stages, and they would ask me the same question you asked me. They said, Tyler, what would be that one thing that really gets you up in the morning? And I said, I really enjoy that Tyler's Coffees is helping people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Every single order we get at Tyler's Coffees, we know we're helping someone.
So you've got this wonderful coffee. And it's not just coffee beans. Can you tell the audience about the CBD range, for instance?
Sure. Yeah. So we just launched our CBD coffee. It's K-Cups, but it's called Lifted Coffee. Roasted by Tyler.
Great name.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually named it. And that's one, because it lifts you. It does. It absolutely lifts you.
Yes.
So that's one that we got investors behind. I've got partners. This one's going to go big. This one's going to be big.
Yeah.
It's
Yes. I
yeah.
would agree.
So lifted coffee.
Because it's got the good coffee beans, and then it's got the good CBD oil, and the combination of the two and the name, it really is going to be something good, isn't it?
And so here's the thing: is not only is it just CBD oil, it's full spectrum CBD oil. So it has all your delta.
Ah.
It's really really good stuff. So here's the thing about my life. My life, I like to live by this
Mm.
slogan or this tagline, and it's not mine, but I drive the cars that make the slogan, and it's the
Mm.
best or nothing, and that's Mercedes Benz. And Mercedes Benz prides
Yeah.
themselves on the best,
Yeah.
or we're not going to do it. And that's me. That's
Yeah.
who I am. Integrity is super critical to me in building a business. So we're either going to build the best of something, or we're
Yeah.
not going to start.
Mm. Tyler, do you think that you'll go into other ranges of coffee? So, say mocha and chocolate and those sorts of things, or will you? Do you
So
think you'll essentially keep it just coffee?
yeah, so what we've done is we looked at the flavor market. Unfortunately,
Mm.
fortunately and unfortunately. Fortunately,
Yeah.
we realized that our coffee is so pure and we're helping people that are having medical issues. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, if we did do flavors, then unfortunately it would
That
cause
would.
potentially an issue with the customer.
Ah. Okay.
So we
Yeah.
tell everyone,
Well.
say, Tyler's Coffees is absolutely a perfect base. Add whatever flavor
Mm,
you want.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Can you tell us? So, we've talked about all the wonderful things of being in business, and we've talked about some of the things that have happened. Have there been times for you that have been a real struggle? I know, it's a good question. It's a
I,
good question.
I mean, I have to use the analogy of the iceberg. People see
Mm.
the top of the iceberg; they don't see what's
Yes.
underneath.
What happens underneath?
I mean, I
Oh,
remember,
like,
being in an apartment when I can't afford uh, furniture and I lived on a mattress and I
yes.
ate ramen and I couldn't even afford to drink my own coffee because I had to sell it.
Oh my goodness. That's a great story. Like,
Yeah.
it's just people need to know that being an entrepreneur is not all gloss and glamour. Underneath the hard work at the top, like you say, sometimes it's like a duck on water. Everything's peaceful and calm on the top, but underneath you're paddling to save your life to keep going. And people don't often see or consider that that's what it's like to
and
be an
and
entrepreneur.
everyone hits you up and says, "Hey, you know,
Yes.
you must have had an easy life," or "Hey, you're privileged," and you're like, "Excuse me."
You worked for that. Yeah, you worked for that. You've been working since you were 14, Tyler. So, as you said, people see the gloss and glamour at the top. They rarely take the time to think this guy's been working since he was 14-year-old,
Yeah,
and he's done the hard yards and
yeah.
built to this point, which
Now
anyone can do,
today,
can't they, Tyler?
today I work, 5 hours a day, and I've got a team of 8 people, and they run all
Yeah.
the operations. But 6 years ago, I was a one-man band trying to make ends meet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is inspiration for people thinking about backing themselves. And that's the other thing, isn't it, Tyler? You've really got to back yourself and your idea. You've got to have absolute belief, an absolute vision, an absolute pushability and tenacity and go, I'm going to back myself. I'm going to back Tyler's Coffee, and I'm going to keep going until this thing happens. And that's what creates greatness.
I really also hate a lot of YouTubers that will get out of a Lamborghini to their house and have a pile of cash. Okay, let me just break it down to you. The Lamborghini's rented, the house is rented, the cash is fake. The only thing that they're doing is they're trying to get you to spend money for them to do something very, very stupid.
Whatever.
You got to realize that the only way you really build wealth is long term. There's no other way.
It's slow.
It's slow, but and here's the other thing. If you really want to build wealth, and I mean really want to build wealth, you have to have a residual machine.
Definitely.
You have to,
and that usually is in business or income producing real estate, isn't it?
It's a lot of things. I mean, you could do it in the market. You could do it in online businesses where you're always making money. You can do it in real estate. You can do it in, I mean, you can do it in services. There's so many ways to make residual income. But I'm telling you, if you're not making residual income and you're exchanging your time for dollars, that's it. You're never ever going to exceed.
Going to break out of that cycle.
No.
Absolutely.
Let me give you an example. If someone came to me and said, "Hey, Tyler, I'm going to give you $100,000 a year salary, or I'll give you 10% of what you sell," I'll take that 10% any day of the week.
Yes, because it goes on and on and on, and you can build on that, and yeah. Tyler, besides coffee, I'm interested to know what other sorts of business avenues that you use and explore and enjoy, if I can ask that.
Business avenues? What do you mean by that?
So do you play in the stock market? Do you have other businesses besides Tyler's Coffee? Do you have commercial real estate? Those sorts of things. I'm curious about that, if that's okay to ask.
Sure. So I do have residential real estate that I rent out. I do have a stock portfolio that I moved everything to crypto.
That's interesting.
Yeah, about a month and a half ago, Bitcoin was at 42,000, and that's when I put in, I'm not going to say a certain amount, but a large amount.
Yes.
And everyone thought I was crazy. Just like, what are you doing putting that much money into an idea that's, failing? And I said, well, wait, here's my thing. And again, I'm not trying to get political in your show, but what I am saying is that politics run industries, and they also run markets, and they run world markets. And at the time, the Build Back Better plan in the United States by President Biden was $4 trillion, and those $4 trillion were going to get absorbed by the 2% of America. The 2% own businesses, okay? And that's when the market started to correct. Same as Bitcoin started to correct. But here's what I saw. I saw that when you realize that the market's starting to correct, people start investing into something that can't be touched by the government. And that's why Bitcoin is now at $63,000.
Yeah. It's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch what's happening with cryptocurrency. I have a little bit of cryptocurrency, not a lot, but it's interesting. I like to just watch it. I like to see what's happening, what it's doing, and I'm not very good at interpreting that, but I find it fascinating. Oh my goodness, I think I've lost Tyler. That's not good at all. damn it. Oh, Tyler, come back to us. Oh, here's... So, ladies and gentlemen, the delightful Tyler's screen has frozen. Here is us talking about Zoom and Zoom dropping out on me during the week. And this week it seems to happen to my friend Tyler. Hopefully he'll be able to jump off and jump back on within a moment. Hopefully that looks like his internet might have crashed. Oh no, poor Tyler. Okay, so today we've been talking to Tyler Ornstein, and he has grown a coffee empire, which the start of the idea actually happened when he was 6 years old, and he formally started working on his dream of Tyler's Coffee when he was 14. And at that time his father had developed a way to roast coffee that ensured that the acids within the coffee were not taken through to the end product, which in essence meant that people that had an issue with indigestion, gastrointestinal tract problems were able to drink coffee free and clear without worrying about those issues. And he started by as a teenager on his bike with his backpack and having his coffee and delivering it to people, and slowly, as he gave out samples of this coffee, people decided that it was really good. I've got Tyler's coffee and it is good coffee. It's good tasting coffee. And as the business grew, at 16, he started to formalize some of those processes, and today has grown the business into a multi-million-dollar coffee house. And before Tyler's screen froze, we were actually talking to him about some of his other endeavors now that he has an entrepreneur, and he's created time and space so that he only works 5 hours per day, which is the ideal for many entrepreneurs, is to get to that point where they only work the hours that they need to work within their business to keep their business going along. They have a team around them that supports them and keeps them going, and their business keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, Tyler's business has continued to grow 200% year over year over year over year, which is a phenomenal thing to have started from nothing and to have a business of that size at this time. And Tyler, we've just been talking as well about some of the things that he has invested in, and our last conversation was around cryptocurrency, and Tyler was talking about his investment in Bitcoin and what that looks like for him. And so, audience, the point of this is to show you how an entrepreneurial business can create the types of things that you want in your life. And Tyler's just returned us. Welcome back, Tyler. How are you?
Thank you so much. You know, this is a perfect example of you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to also put in your computer because it will die out there.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I've just recapped for the audience.
It's the little things, you know, it's the absolute just little things that kick you off. Pardon my French. All right, so we're talking
we were talking about, yes.
Okay, so Bitcoin is, to me, I think it's a strong investment, and I'll tell you why. It's not regulated by the SEC. It's not regulated by any government. It is 100% the people's money.
Yes.
And there was a lot of talk of a world currency or a currency that has world domination. And I really see Bitcoin as that, because I think, to be honest with you, again, of course we pay our taxes. Of course we are up and up.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people out there that don't want to have their pocketbook, taken. And there's a lot of people out there that are sick and tired of government money going not to the people, but to the pockets of the politicians. So again, there's a lot of reasons why I think Bitcoin is a good investment, but yeah, I mean it's something that definitely is a good idea to at least look at. And again,
Yeah,
there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, I mean, there's so many Bitcoins now.
lots of them.
It's literally taking over the market space of normal
It
investment.
is.
So,
And the other thing is, Tyler, that more and more businesses are actually accepting cryptocurrency of whatever genre
yeah,
in return for services. So I know recently I've been paid in a cryptocurrency called Coin, which is only Australian based, but nevertheless, it's kind of a good feeling. It's kind of a good feeling to have alternatives for people to pay you in return for services or goods or products. And I think that we will see more and more businesses accepting cryptocurrency as part of their everyday business. Does Tyler's Coffee, can you pay in cryptocurrency yet?
no, that's actually something that we're looking at for people to
Ah,
pay in crypto. As of right now, we do not offer that, but we actually
yeah.
are looking into that now because I think that it's time, as the markets
Yes.
shift, as the markets change. I like to be on the cutting edge of things. I enjoy
Yes.
watching how technology has evolved. I mean, to think that you can get, and again, this is not exacted yet, but to think that you
Mm.
can get a package flown to your house in a drone,
Yes.
that's pretty
That
cool.
excites me too, Tyler. Like that technology advancement, the drone technology, not the driverless cars, that sort of stuff. I love. I've always had a dream, like from a child, seeing those jets and rocket ships. I want one. Like I'll
Well,
be putting my
I
hand
mean,
up, going, "I'll have one, thanks. I want to."
Star Trek is about 20 years behind, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. And
this
you
is
know, look at the boys. Look,
this is a tricorder. This is a tricorder. Okay. People thought you're absolutely crazy to think that you're going to have a computer
yes,
in your hand.
yeah. But everything's on these things now. Like everything, you know, I can do business from my phone if I need to, which is
Paranoia.
fabulous. Because it gives you freedom and time and space and to really live life to its fullest if you're not connected to an office where you have to be. Tyler, I'm wondering from your perspective, has COVID had any down issues for you in terms of production, distribution, or has it been like many others and increased people's online and your online presence?
Well, I think COVID has quote unquote been an issue around the world. But for online businesses or for
Mm.
retail space businesses, um, especially grocery is phenomenal business when it comes to COVID because that's literally
Yes.
everything had to close except for grocery stores for at least six
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So to your question, we did very well in COVID.
Good.
Politically, I was very upset with it, but that's not that's beside the fact. Business wise,
Yeah.
we did do well, yes.
That's good. That's good. Tyler, in the last 5 minutes, I've got two more questions I wanted to ask you, and one is around your current goals. What's next for Tyler?
Well, I think what's next is now that I've realized what I can accomplish and who I am,
Yeah.
as I'm coming
Yeah.
into myself, right? As I'm
Yeah.
learning that the only thing that's holding me back is myself. Um,
Yeah.
I'm starting to really relook at my father's inventions and bring them to fruition because
Yes.
there's a lot of value in what he's created, And I think that there needs to be, the world would benefit immensely from it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing, Tyler. That's really exciting.
It's kind of
What a
funny.
legacy.
Yeah, thank you. It's kind of funny because my father is a brilliant, brilliant scientist, probably one of the most amazing chemical engineers you'll ever meet in your life. But he doesn't know how to do business. He's very, very business dumb.
Yeah.
And it has nothing against him. It's just who he is, right? I am not a big scientist. I do not know science or chemistry. I mean, I know basics, but there's no way I could do it. So the way I see it is, when you're looking at the safety card and there's a loss of cabin pressure, you put your mask on before you put on the child. Because if you don't put it on yourself, the child's not going to put it on
that's bad.
you, and you both are going to die. So I have to put my mask on first, and now I'm ironically going to go put the mask on because he needs the business mindset, but he has the chemistry.
Oh, Tyler, that's just amazing. What an exciting thing to do now, and what an exciting thing to look forward, and what a fabulous thing for the world.
No, it's going to be, we're right. Okay. So let me tell you right now, we're creating a business right now. I'm going to talk about the name, because it's not finished. It's not finished. Okay. It's not finished.
Yeah.
We're creating an oil additive that will give you 30% better fuel economy.
Wow. Which is great for the planet and great for everything. And that's just one of the things that you'll be working on. Yeah. That's a really
there's so many to talk about, but what I'm really happy about this one, and in America, our fuel costs have gone triple almost. We were paying $1.80 and now
scary.
$4, right? So if I can give you 30% better fuel economy by buying this product,
that's a huge, that's amazing. And that's what I think. I think if people have the opportunity to create a better world by what they invent, design, construct, it's an exciting world to look forward to. It's an exciting place and a wonder around what my grandson might be able to access in 10 years' time. I'm so glad you're doing that, Tyler. That's just amazing. Before we run out of time, we've got 1 minute left. You've got a special offer for all the audience and anyone watching this interview at a later date. What is it?
I don't know. What is it? Sorry.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Let me just tell you, Tyler has a special offer for the audience of Toni TV, and it's 10% off if you jump onto Tyler's Coffee and use Tyler's 10 off. You'll get 10% off your order. And as I said, I have Tyler's Coffee. I've tasted it. It's great. I ordered it from America. It got to Australia lickety-split, really quick time. Lovely product to get in the mail. So no matter where you're listening, you guys in Russia, you need to check out this coffee. You guys in Germany, you need to check out this coffee, and anyone else in between. Tyler Ornstein, it has been an absolute delight to talk to you today. I can't wait to see what happens with you in your future. I would love to have you back when you're ready to talk about some of Dad's inventions and what happens with those, because that's a really exciting place. But thank you for coming on the show today and telling us about the inception and growth of Tyler's Coffee and what you've been able to create. I hope that it's inspiration for any of the young people listening and the older people listening about what you can create if you keep your eyes on the vision that you started with. Tyler Ornstein, thank you so much for coming on Toni TV today. I hope to get to talk to you again soon. Lovely audience. That is your lot for this week. Please thank Tyler, and we will be back next week with another Everyday Business show. Don't forget, jump on and check out Tyler's Coffee and use that discount code and check out the greatest coffee in the world. Thanks, Tyler.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My pleasure.